All right, let's put on some music. And okay, we're streaming. What is it? Hero of Synth. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Try that. Close out of all this stuff. Stuff I don't need, stuff you don't need. Good. Right. I need to figure out. How can I do this so I could see chat? How did I mess this up? Looking for the docs. All right, I can bring the stats in. That's not right. How did this get so messed up? Be on the phone. Which? Cool. And if we continue. This will be a decent color for this shirt, I guess, that she's wearing. Actually, this is this one. Nice mix of different materials happening here. And all this is hood. I think this is going to look cool. What is the color of this stuff? It's sort of like this random metal color. Couldn't tell you what this stuff is. Why it's on her head. But there it is. I don't know. To me, it's a mystery. Okay, good. All right, min to down. Moving on. So these leaves, they're dead leaves. Let's give them a brownish color. Very basic, not too saturated. It's interesting. Very close to this. Let's split the difference on some of them. And then we can feel like we've gone and said something intentional. I like it. Now, what color is Hyrule Castle? It's sort of gray. Here we have this is kind of like something we can I make this big? What color is that? I make them on the cooler side. It's funny, all the Hyrule castles I can find are Minecraft ones. Something slightly I don't know if this is canon. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. And then this kind of blue. Might be too much, but I think we can get away with it. I want to avoid the earth tones. Uchi, hey, what's going on? Getting into doing some flat colors for this piece. So regarding the chat is working fine, but it isn't displaying on my OBS, so I have a little side monitor where I can see chats come in, but it isn't part of OBS, so it's a little rinky-dink. It might be delayed. It might be jank. All right, all right. Hope you've been all right. I've been busy with work recently, which is good. But I'm happy enough that today is not as busy. So I can do different things. Hell yeah, I like this track. We're listening to some Zelda synthwave type stuff. It's like cyberpunk Zelda. If it's too loud, let me know. Cool. There's this sort of crest or banner here that I've randomly designed that I guess I'm sticking with. I didn't really reference it to anything. I just sort of drew what I knew were the basics of the Zelda sort of aesthetic with military stuff, and then I figured I'd fix it later, but now it's later, and I think this is better than anything I'd supplant it with. It's really gloomy here right now. The rain has been sort of drizzly all day, and now it's actually like straight up raining. Which is good in LA, because we need rain after all the fires, I guess. Fuck yeah, it's gonna be an awesome track. Yeah, happy for the rain. It was weird, because it's like I was on the roads today, partially in traffic for part of my commute over to where I am now at my parents' house. And normally rain in LA makes drivers freak out. They're like, what? It's like the worst thing ever for them to drive around in the rain. Today, everybody was courteous and patient. I think there's sort of a mutual consensus on the road that between rain and fires, we'll take the rain. And sleep a little easier. See if I can make a good looking portcullis. That kind of just looks too intense. Yeah, it's all very eye grabbing. Okay, so for Link's colors here, I'm going to find an earlier version of his colors. Let's see here. I know where to go. There we go. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe not. Let's see here. I guess it's got to be Twilight Princess colors. I mean, this is all good stuff. It's just... want to get the color of his costume that it is and not how another artist has depicted it. It's such a weird question. Like, and it seems like it should be so easy to answer. Like, what is the color? What is the color of his costume? And yet, if you get granular about it and you compare everything to everything else, there's no specific answer as to what color it's got. Like, it's green, right? But what green? Like, what specific color of green should I use as the base? It's been different every time I draw it. There's worse questions out there to be answered, but this is but you gotta dive in and own it, I guess, before too long. This looks helpful. Come on. Why is this so hard? Putting that art degree to the grind, yeah. Scanning 1,000. Twilight Princess. Link. Costume. No. Damn it. Let me try a slightly different tack, because that's the Link to the Past one, based on something pretty specific. I'm pretty sure that this is fairly close. I can draw from some of these colors from here. Okay. This is my previous art. I made educated guesses here that I didn't regret later on. So let's hope that can continue. No matter what color I pick, when I put it down, it looks wrong. What are you going to do? Like, if I look it up in a reference, that's great, but that reference is accurate to that reference, and it's not accurate to this, where we're going to have all sorts of different additional factors at play. I just ultimately have to think of it as it's just a place to start. Not something to get hung up on. Auburn hair. I just like the straight green cap. Scroll Reaper, what up? Been chilling and working along. Okay, hey. Glad to hear it. I've been struggling to be decisive, but it's coming. I was streaming earlier today, and I had a good idea with these flags in the background. That one of them will tear away, so one of them will be disattached and sort of flying away. That'll have some loaded symbolism for this scene. Oh, there's these flags, if you can see them here in the scene. Right now they look too celebratory. I might style them a little bit differently, but one of them is going to be pulled away, like it just gets detached just by the wind, just by the force of the wind. But it'll be sort of symbolic. There was that scene in the Two Towers, the Lord of the Rings movie, the Two Towers, where after, like right as the like they come in the beginning where they go to what is it, Eredin or whatever, the right as the as Aragorn and like Legolas are coming into the town, the king is all like possessed by demons and stuff like that. They're riding up into the town, and and there's a moment where apparently this was unscripted, but one of the flags that was flying in the movie set ripped away from the mast, the pole that was holding it, and flew off. But it was like so perfectly coincidentally timed to the occasion, where it was like the kingdom was at like its lowest point, like the nadir, if you will, where like nothing could be worse. Like the king's he's so far gone mentally or possessed that he doesn't even give a shit that his own son is dead. and what, like, who will save us kind of thing. The girl walks outside, and then there's Aragorn waltzing up in his with his entourage to save the day. So it was very cool. Happy accident, indeed, and good also to recall such a thing. And it'll symbolize something different here, that there's conflict in his mind. In his mind and at home. But it'll be subtle enough where people will notice it and they'll get it, or they won't notice it at all and there won't be any issue. But that's the power that visuals can bring to a story. Something like that. That sort of stuff is unscriptable. I don't know what we're listening to now. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a different one. Let's listen to Hero of Synth 3. Let's try this now. And I dig the Bob Ross reference there too. That's what this is. This is like my Bob Ross joy of painting. You're going to be going through the opposite of joy for 6 months. What does that mean? Did something bad happen? The opposite of joy. Opposite of joy is terror. Going to daily 61-minute figure studies. Trial by fire. I saw for 6 months. I saw a YouTube video sort of espousing this. I wonder if you saw the same thing. He's like, how I learned to draw in 6 months, or whatever. Was that the same thing? And but to be honest, that was the one. Okay. Yeah. To be honest, I think that's great advice. I think it's absolutely a great thing. I should join you if he changed the title a bit. How I learned to draw in 6 months. Yeah. He's like, oh, I just totally learned how to draw. People are like, it looks like you kind of knew a little bit how to draw beforehand. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad to know I'm on top of all that stuff. Honestly, though, like, I know I've not been a secret about it, but I think figure drawing is, like, that's what I notice is the artists that I most admire, like, take figure drawing very seriously. It's just, I don't know if it's causal or correlative. The 6-month routine elevated my art. I think you will definitely the people are held back by their resistance to study the figure intensively, and I think it's not good. So I'm glad you... what was the artist you recommended again, your old teacher? I would recommend Glenn Villepeu. Glenn Villepeu. That's... and I don't mind... I should do a... maybe tomorrow I'll do it. I'll get up early tomorrow morning. How about that? And I'll try a... let me put it here. Villepeu. Is it this? Yeah, Villepeu. It's this guy. Villepeu Academy. That's not something I would necessarily endorse. I haven't tried that. Okay, so this is hopefully the actual Glenn Villepeu, right? Hopefully these are actually his drawings. This guy, believe it or not, comes from an animation background and taught my mother. So, he was a teacher of my mother, and then, like, when my mother was in her 20s, and then he started offering workshops, and my mother encouraged me to go to one, so I did. And it was here that I learned that, like, if you kind of know what the body... like, it's interesting. These are good, but, like, 369 weeks ago. So this is, like, a long... from 2018. I took his class in... like 2002, 2003. If you can imagine such a thing, like, long time ago. So, and I only took one class. Like, well, he had like an 8-week sort of thing where it's like you would go every week for 8 weeks to, like, this one thing. This is how things are done. But I could only make it to about 5 of those. But when I saw him demoing, like, he would draw the model without looking at the model. Like, he didn't even need to look. And, like, his drawing would look better than anybody who, like, could look. I just realized it's like... I was like, there is a way to do this. I saw him do it, and I was like, this is what I need to be practicing, like, this kind of figure invention. Now that that comes with several layers of fluency that you won't reach that level from just doing the 6 months or whatever. But learning to be okay with the idea that you have to, like, you have to be out of your comfort zone, I think, is such an important revelation in this, in ultimately. So Glenn Villepeu would be the guy. And then I know that Rembert Monpald was referenced in that video that the guy posted that you were talking about. And Rembert did a very similar thing, and now he's teaching, which is great and interesting. And I think I said that I've met Rembert, and he came to my house once for a party. Rembert is a brilliant artist. I will not. Sometimes I'll be cynical. I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's great, but Rembert's amazing. So. And what I really respect is the artists that I can tell are putting in the mileage with just drawing, you know? It's so important. It's like, fill those sketchbooks. Just fill them. Be like, get a sketchbook, get it this thick, and just, like, fill it with 10 pages a day. And actually, Scroll Reaper... whether or not this was necessarily on your radar, I love 2D the most, spent 2 years on 3D, and don't absolutely love it. Okay. I would. I mean, no one can predict the future, but the drawing skills are just fundamental. So, when in doubt, like, it's been my position just to be like, well, where's the fundamentals? You know, because everybody skips them, trying to get to something that looks shinier. But they shouldn't. I wonder if I have a picture of it's not a big deal. I was like, I've got pictures from that party. I could show a picture of Rembert, but I'd have to look it up, and I'm not sure it's on this computer. All right, link. Slightly darker. Very slightly darker. That's not too bad. But yeah, the prescription of more figure drawing, I don't think you could do too much figure drawing. I think it's important. And actually I'm planning on doing more figure drawing. Unfortunately, I can't do the nude figure drawings on this stream, but it's clearly important. I've always said so, and now it's in the zeitgeist. Yeah, it's looking good. I have an idea of like having one, I'm not sure which tower it should be. I feel like here what if there was like an insinuation that there was a light on? The rest of the castle is like dark, right? Or minimal lighting. But here, maybe someone's home. Maybe it's Zelda. She's like, where the fuck did Link go? Why does he always go on walks when it's windy? You know? Scroll Reaper, where are you gonna get your figure drawings from? Like the references, assume you would. So what I would recommend is using references for sure.
Dad?
Hi, Robbie.
How are you going to you?
Okay, go on up there. quick poses. That was what he recommended.
Why
Yeah.
did Papa give us a
Quick poses.
house for me
Okay, this looks cool.
to be our inside treehouse?
That's your inside treehouse, yeah. Chiaroscuro, lining distortion. Input your email to track your progress and earn a quick poses certificate. Oh, great. There's all my email addresses. That's wonderful. What? Okay, sounds good.
On our part.
Well, we'll check all this out. Ryan Woodward is one of the best artists when it comes to figurative gesture drawing. This is good stuff. So, yeah, make an account. I'll make one too. There is a... Whoa. Okay. Hey, no screaming, please, buddy. I am not, however, a, like... It is important, like, it is important to, like, get the... One thing I've just noticed, though, is that in the rush to do quick poses, it's totally a worthwhile thing to train your brain to look at a figure and then instantly, like at the speed of emotion, interpret it as a gesture that you can quickly execute. That's important and good. That doesn't necessarily translate to understanding internally the figure without a model present. I believe that happens differently, and I'm not really sure exactly where that difference lies. It's something that if I could do something differently, I would try to analyze and sort out exactly what kind of practice is good for doing that, like figure invention. Because these are all wonderful. They look well, they're like graphically designed, but these are stylized and they don't necessarily translate to me that there's like, this looks great. It's not obvious, however, that this person can then invent any kind of figure that they want out of their own head. They may rely on like a picture in front of them or a model. And I guess this is Ryan Woodward. Ryan Woodward, famous artist. I don't want to be like, I don't know. I'm agnostic to whether or not he can do that. He probably can, but I don't often see that the heavily stylized stuff translates to like an internal understanding the way that one would hope it would. It doesn't automatically click over. That's definitely on my mind as well, but I do want to have this stained as a habit, so 1 hour warm-ups become second nature. I 100% agree that if nothing else, that it's still an amazing thing to do where you are consistent getting the figure drawing practice in. 100% I agree. The establishing that as the habit is so important. I want to do that too. I don't know if I can do it on stream, but there might be a clothed option that maybe...
Can you read that to me here when I'm up into our inside treehouse?
You need me to do so much. Yeah, I'll hand them up to you. Here, put them on the ground, and when you're ready, I'll hand them up to you.
And then some paper.
This is cool that they have these resources, though. This stuff didn't exist 20 years ago. It has a clothed option, not sure where. Avail, welcome. Avail, have you heard about the 6-month figure drawing practice trend, the craze that is sweeping the nation? I think everybody saw that, and I liked the figure drawings that that guy was doing. The guy who made that video. I thought his proportions were a little all over the place, but no, I don't want to be a hater about it. I thought he did great work, but figure drawing and figure invention are not necessarily the same discipline. They're obviously tangential. But what I've had artist teachers where they can do amazing work as long as there's a model right in front of them. But if you take that away, they're not as impressive, unfortunately. All right, Robbie, I'll hand that up to you when you're ready. But more figure drawing is better for everybody. He also had some anatomy studies in the beginning. I noticed he didn't mention it, but definitely went more. Okay, Robbie, hold on. I'm going to hand some stuff to my son. Right, 1 second. Hi, Kiki. What's up?
Hey, Dad.
Hey, everybody.
I'm making
Check it out.
the salmon.
Okay. Here. Take that, all right? And here's this.
So, this Billy wants to hang out with me.
Okay, well, that's nice. Oh, okay. I'm back.
No worries. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like... I mean, I studied anatomy for years when I was younger. And all I really could say that I could do after that was draw from memory, I guess, the same diagrams that I was studying in the book. But then I would go into a figure drawing class, and there would be like, you know, it would be like a, you know, not necessarily a non-athletic woman, for instance, and I couldn't see any of the things that I had studied. All the muscles and all the anatomical markers were sort of hidden behind layers of flesh and weird lighting that made it clear that and given the whatever pose was happening, certain muscles would poke out more than others, and others would be diminished. And I was just realizing, I was like, there's so little utility in studying from a book sometimes. It is important, I guess, but like you can memorize the diagrams, the anatomical diagrams in a book and really learn nothing. Nothing useful. Because no matter what, like if you're drawing the figure, you're not going to be drawing it as you would in that diagram. And then if you transpose the two, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just draw all these muscles on this person in this pose. It also looks weird because it's like people aren't muscled in the way that they are in an anatomical diagram. Like that's like a non-realistic depiction as well. But I don't know what the solution is. It's we'll discover together. All right. Here's my what can I make some sort of resolution? Okay, because I know that this will be true. I'll do 10. Let's try this. 10 one-hour figure drawing studies on stream. They'll have to be clothed, unfortunately. And the first one will suck because it's been a while for me. And the second one will suck less. And the 10th one will probably be decently impressive, but there's no guarantees, I guess. But all are humbled in the figure drawing class. That's why I think it's super important. It's a great equalizer, yes? My goal is to eventually implement into studies, draw the pose with reference, then draw it without reference. I think eventually if you can like do it without. I think you learn more by not jumping to rely on reference. If you can draw something without reference, and then you hit a gap in your knowledge, but then look it up, and then you use that to fill in the gap, then that is better than just sort of, you know, try to solve the problem without looking up the answer in the book first. Are you guys doing good up there? You guys are super cute. I'll do that over and as a start. All right, good stuff. All right, let me keep going with this, but everybody needs to do more figure drawing. All right, let's one more quick plug for quickposes.en. I'll have to add this to my bookmarks. Quick Poses. This stream is brought to you by Quick Poses, the quickest way to find a pose.
That's my work.
That would be fun. Well, you guys are going to set up... I love that you guys have invaded my office. It's great.
New pictures over there.
Okay, let's fill in these foresty areas. The forest will be green, but it can't be the same green as Link's green. Like this? Is that still green? Oh, that's decent. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then I like the idea of this little wolf mountain being somewhere split between this color and this color.
Okay. Something. Wait.
All right, now these mountains, I'll make them... No, it's gotta be more like this. Or should it be lighter and bluer? Yeah. Yeah, just give me a second. Here, Kiki, come here.
Do some work. Dad, I'm going to work.
Okay, Robbie, you go to work. Here,
Work.
say hi to everybody.
Hey, will you put your phone to like
Okay, I'll move that stuff. Where do you want it to go?
this different than that. This.
Okay.
You,
All right, let me do it. Excuse me.
there's one pin. Then,
There you go. Is that okay?
but I need one of those to make a painting. Drawing.
I know, she's cute. She just got, she has some teeth crowding. She got an expander put into her upper jaw. Robbie, you're okay up there. Just make some art. Just draw like Daddy does. You had an expander? They're the worst. Okay, we've been telling her that it's not so bad. You can do art up there. You guys can both do art.
I do drawings at my work. That's to me.
You do drawings at your work? Are you like Daddy?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Okay, this is looking decent. Let's just pick a color to fill in the sky. And it's got to be dark. It could be worse. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Okay, moving.
Oh, and there's supposed to be a moon
My work
here.
is-
I know it's like super obvious, but here, let's see if I can guess this right. This color should be the same as this one. Okay, they're not, but I want them to be. So, or they don't need to be the same. But some, I'll split the difference for the moon. Oop, that's a square. Let's make a circle. And normally I like to hand draw my shapes, but let's check a couple of things. All things being equal, I read a long time ago that it's perhaps by coincidence or by design, but a lot of Renaissance style portraits have a like one eye will be in the middle of the composition. Maybe we can align her a little bit better like that.
Ready?
Yes, guys.
Do you mind if I borrow this chair?
What? Borrow a what? You can use that chair. Go ahead. And then, yeah, do the same here with Link.
Oh, Kiki, my book is the red book. Mama, don't tell me.
Kiki. Are you squeezing by? Alright, we're nudging Link over. Cool. Now it's a subtle thing, but it feels like they've got that lined up. And I don't think it's harmed, better or for worse, for anything at all. Oh boy. It's okay. Pull it through. Oh, you'll have to do it. This is your idea, Kiki. Pull it through. You can figure it out. I guess I should be honored that the room I'm in is the coolest room to be in. Okay, I dig that. Let's flip the canvas, see if we still hate or love things. Kind of too late to change anything now. I like that. That looks good. Yeah. Feels like it's got a lot of balance to it. A lot of balance, but a lot of variety. Okay, so we'll flip it again. Flip it back. Okay, so save a new version. Oh, there is this little thing. Why is this happening? Okay. Yes, Kiki. I don't know. You have to figure it out. See if it's plugged in. Was it not plugged in? You can unplug, don't unplug Daddy's computer. Yeah, plug it in there. Alright, I'm pleased with the progress on this today. I should probably stop and move on to a different one. So I might do, oh, let me color these flags. These flags need love. Cancel lines. Okay. So, stuff B. Like, I don't even know. Oh, good job, Robbie. Rip away this flag.
But this is my neighbor's favorite.
I think I'll have to draw it from scratch. That's okay.
A long time ago, of my grandma's picture. She won the race and she drew this picture. Pick it up. This picture was made in 1930 from my grandma. He made it in planes. In 1932, my grandma won the race. Won it. She draw finish first. Now, I'm going to start. Well, I'm going to start. Let's see. Now, did my work look fancy? Alright, I'm gonna send it to your text. And you got the text, it says, I love this, honey. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks, Kiki. I'm so much. Kiki said, I love your work. I'm going to watch. I think that thing's on the computer. Kiki said,
Everything is a mirage. We search
What is this music?
we put
the stars are falling
That's not something we need. Okay.
cold, filled with disdain.
I did like this
We search for light.
over
Hero Synth 2. Try this one.
here. Keep it. Now, what is this? For my work. I can hold it. Like this. Watch. But today my name is Sarah Landa. And I'm a grown-up and I'm a mom. And my kids are on this.
Links. Link will be represented by this flag, and it will be green.
What I do.
Hey Kiki, you did do your homework, yes? Did you finish your last page of math homework? I want you to do that before we're done here today, and I think you should do it now. Have you had your dinner yet?
Kind of cooking here.
Okay. Before we leave here, you're gonna do that math homework. I suggest you do it now since you only have one page left, huh? Thank you. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make that more obvious. It might be a little too subtle the way it is right now. Or it's clearer to everybody else, but not to me, because to me these colors are very similar. And I know they're probably not for everybody else. I know that this is orange and this is green, but my brain doesn't make enough distinction between them so that they're sort of running together. Maybe if I can control for that with a little bit of value difference. Yeah, that's not bad. And it kind of maybe can be the same color green as over here. Yeah, that's kind of cool. See, we're storytelling with color. There you go. It's like, oh, what's that colored green doing way up here? Oh. Oh. All right. What we do now, we'll do one more thing and then we'll decide what we're going to do next. 6:30. Progress. Take this into Photoshop. And we're going to treat all the color layers with a brightness effect that will... Ooh, actually, before we do that, we need to make a color master. So we're going to turn off all the lines. And what we are left with is kind of like a clown pass, I guess, is what we learned about that one time. Okay, now we can turn them all back on. Okay. It's good. I can't quite hear you, buddy. I don't think so. Sorry, bud. Okay, here we go into each of the color layers, and then... because my process being what it is, and I don't have a better process yet, is take all these flat colors, darken them very far down, within an inch of their life, I say, to essentially make it look like we turn off all the lights in a scene. Yeah, this is I have a script for it right here. And then all it does is it goes into levels and it darkens it to 90. So one by one, we do this to all the color layers. We get this dramatic change. And even the moon. Maybe not the moon. Is that silly? Let's do the sky first. Yeah, let's do the moon too. Cool. I think additionally we need to make sure that all the line layers are set to multiply. Okay. All right, this is looking cool. I think this is a good place to put a pin in this one. But very, very pleased with the progress on this today. Let me send a quick text. Let's shift gears a little bit. I'm excited about doing figure drawings, but not right now. It's an entirely different part of my brain that I don't know if I'm quite in the zone for that. I'm not zoned for that yet. Instead, I'd like to make a little progress here, if that's possible. Okay, there's been lots of progress pretty much everywhere, but just a couple more areas that need a little bit more. Let's face it, we got a long way to go on this. But we're approaching the halfway point, which is kind of cool. She's downstairs doing a little homework, Robbie. Why don't you go join her? But don't disturb her. She's trying to be a good student. Big blue light. Building it up. Okay, now there's just this area here in the back that needs a touch to bring all that into unison. And then we can make another layer of blue light. But those will be highlights, and those will look rad, so we don't want to skip that. Come in. Hey, man.
You like?
Come on in. I'm doing a stream.
Nice.
What is that?
Get prepping your steak.
All right, awesome. My brother popping in for a quick howdy do. These guys back here are so small. It's hard to color them at all. It's a wonder why I made the composition so crazy when these figures can only barely be noticed anyway. But it's fun to do illogical things in our drawings. Drawings don't have budgets, right? You can run out of time to make a drawing, but a drawing can be as enriched with detail and anything you can cram into it as much as you want it to be. I can barely even make out what's happening. But this looks like another little guy poking his head out of the hole. Let's turn up the opacity a little bit. Okay. All right, doing it again. Start back at the top. Start adding in these highlights. Subtle but important differences. Important to me. Let me check something. Yeah, okay. Super subtle. Well, they're not subtle here because they're all in the dark. Where it like the main light isn't on, so all these little subtle highlights are popping. I don't know. It's always a gamble. Up until the last third of any of these pieces, I have no idea how I'm going to pull them off, and then they tend to work out, so I'll have a little faith. Like a quick intermission. All right. It's not the gospel truth, but the spirit of this image will hold us over. All right, I'll be right back. Huh. Yeah, I went on a more accurately described as a dinner quest. I'm lucky I can go to my parents' house with my kids and have them watch them and supervise them, and they even took my daughter to a piano lesson today. And then when you don't think it's going to get any better, my dad's like, here, I cooked you a steak. I was like, hell yeah. At my house, between my wife and I do most of the cooking. Yeah, I'm a I really got into cooking when I was as a result of, let's see, when I was 21, in a freak medical accident, my spleen exploded. The doctor explained that what he thinks happened was I was fighting some sort of infection, but not really realizing it. Like I was sick with some sort of cold or something at the time, but sort of ignored it. And so while my immune system was fighting the infection, my spleen was doing a lot of overtime work, because I guess the spleen plays a role in the immune system. It's one of the places in the body where white blood cells are created. It wasn't so that I was like, my spleen did not fix itself. My spleen was enlarged. My spleen was in distress and enlarged as a result of fighting an infection. I wasn't really aware of it because I was young and healthy besides. So, and it was just one of those things where it's like, it's like I could have had like a sniffle or like a lingering cough or something. It's just one of those things that like you wouldn't necessarily attribute when you're young and stupid and staying up all night and like partying with friends and looking to score weed and doing all. It's like pretty much everything you do just for fun is take medicine and look to score and stuff like that. So there was nothing I would say that I was like, oh, I was clearly sick, but I ignored it. I did not feel sick, and I felt healthy enough to exercise, and so I was doing pull-ups, and I felt a pop in my abdomen. And I thought the pop was like I know you can like pull muscles, right? So I figured I pulled an ab muscle, like an abdominal muscle, It was like, and it was like pop and like mild discomfort, but I was like, I must have overdone it, right? And I was like, oh, good for me. I did like 20 pull-ups. This was or like a hernia, but like it wasn't like I was. I don't know. I didn't feel like I did anything life-threatening, but I was like, I'll take it easy. I'll stop it. I'll take it easy. Well, then the next day I tried to do. I was in bed all. I slept through the night, fine. I wasn't necessarily in pain until I tried to sit up. I tried to sit up that morning to get out of bed, and shooting pains up into the joint of my arm, from my abdomen to the joint of my arm. Now, I'd never had a pain like that before, but it also seemed to fit my self-diagnosis of, hey, I pulled an ab muscle. That must be possible. You pull muscles, right? So I must have pulled an ab muscle, and that's why when I'm sitting up, it's shooting pain in my abdomen, right? I don't know why it's hitting my shoulder, but the body's weird, and it's true that there are sheaths of muscle that underneath your rib cage and on top of it, like your body will connect in ways that like you don't necessarily understand. So I was like, it all makes sense. I've pulled an ab muscle. You know, well, the next day I was in worse pain, really couldn't move at all, and I couldn't really eat. I didn't eat all day, but I was like, oh, I have to eat something, because it was dinner time at that point, and I was like, on like day 2, I was like, let me just try and eat something. And I ate like one taco, and I was so full from it. Like, there was no room in my abdomen. I was like, what's going on? Like, I haven't eaten in like a day and a half, and I can't even eat like more than a taco. That's crazy. That's no good. You got tatted on your shoulder and the pain shot up to my collarbone. Yeah, I mean, the sensory innervation is connected in weird ways. If you've ever had, hopefully not, but if you ever do get shingles, you'll experience how the nerves, the shingles are the my brother's in the chat now. Shingles are the worst. Yeah. I don't have, like, shingles is a more advanced sort of, but like there will be things where you'll itch one thing in one area and you'll like feel a sensation on another area of your body entirely. Yeah. If you get hit in the groin, you can feel it in your abdomen or tummy because we still got nerves that all connect there. Yeah. Ultimately, everything's all about your core, right? So, anyway, all I'm saying is I didn't know what was going on. The next day was like a Sunday, and on Sundays at the time, I would regularly drive to my parents' house and have breakfast with my dad. It was like a tradition we had. So I was en route, and as I was driving over, I started to lose consciousness, and my vision became a field of stars, and I started to hyperventilate and like sweat profusely and stuff like that, and I couldn't really see, but I managed to get to the side of the road, and this was on a very trafficked, it's essentially on a highway. But one that I knew well and could drive in my sleep practically. So I was able to get to the side of the road, and I fished around in the car for anything to help me sort of settle. I found an old bottle of water that I had filled up a couple weeks prior at my friend's. They have a cabin in the woods that had a natural spring. I filled up the water, and it had just been sitting in my car for 2 weeks. Wouldn't recommend, necessarily to do it, but at the time it was like this healing elixir that helped me feel more healed in the moment. But I realized I was like, I need help. So I went to my parents' house. I was able to drive after that, and luckily it was just downhill. So I made it to my parents' house, and I stumbled in the house and just like collapsed in one of their recliners, and just waited for death to take me. My dad wandered in, found me, and he's like, "You look white as a ghost." And I was like, "I don't feel good." He's like, "We're taking you to the hospital." So they did, and after a quick examination, they could tell that I was not faking and that it was serious. Yeah, well, they don't. So they didn't tell me that until afterward. Basically, they went in and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna do like a CT scan with contrast." This is a little bit TMI, but what they do is they take this radioactive fluid. It's not radioactive, but it's like a metal infused fluid. Barium. It's barium. Basically they gave me a barium enema. So they shoot this liquid that has metallic particles suspended in it into my abdomen. They flooded my gut with like a electromagnetic electromagnetic sensitive solution that wouldn't be that wouldn't rip out of my gut when they put me into the MRI or whatever. They had me they were basically hold this gallon of metallic fluid in your butt, like hold it in, you know, and we're gonna scan you, and then when we're done you can poop out this liquid. Basically, this is super embarrassing shit, but I had to do it. I did that, and basically by way of like using the gut contrast, they could tell that there was displacement and swelling and liquid in my abdomen that was not the barium enema. And so it was they determined from that I was bleeding profusely into my abdomen, and that I needed immediate surgery. So yeah, I mean, you go through it eventually, right? This was probably, I think this was like, I haven't really had any, this was my first and only surgery before, at least as far as I can recollect off the top of my head. I'm generally a careful person. I've never broken a bone or needed a lot of medical intervention, but here, I tried to do it all right, and then my spleen explodes, so you never know. This is a roundabout way of getting to my story, but basically they took out my spleen, and I woke up the next day and I was living, obviously, but it was more serious than you know, at the time they mostly just want to make sure you make it out, but at the time they were like, yeah, we saved you were going to die of that. That wasn't something that was going to be okay. So I'm glad for medical science, for my daughter's sake and my own sake. This is well before I had kids. This is when I was like 21 years old, as I said. That having been done, essentially they have to hold you in the hospital until like your guts heal, and they make sure you're okay. And the way they do that, of course, is they you have to have a bowel movement. So they're like, okay, well, you can't leave the hospital until you're better, and we'll know you're better once you start like farting and pooping and stuff like that. And so I was stuck in the hospital. Yeah, but like they're like, until you do, we can't feed you anything because you might need more surgery. Because if this didn't actually solve your problem, then you're going to have more surgery, and if it's an emergency, then you have to have it right away, and we can't wait for you to digest your food first or whatever like that, basically. So I was just in the hospital, just starving. Oh, and they had this crazy hose that was stuck in my nose. Basically, it was draining the bile that was collecting in my... there was this hose that sucked out bile from my gastric pouches and stuff like that. It was huge, this huge hose. It was like as thick as your finger, going in your nose and dripping down into your esophagus. Not yours, down the not the esophagus. Basically down the no, it was the esophagus. It goes down into the but then bypassing your windpipe and actually just going into the stomach. So anytime I swallowed, I had to like grip in my throat. It was like a catheter, but it was thick, you know. It felt gigantic. It was so annoying, and they wouldn't even give me water, you know. Now, they were keeping me alive and hydrated via like IVs and stuff like that, but I was so parched. And of course, because I had surgery, they were giving you all these pain meds, which also parch you, you know. Now, the pain meds were good, but basically I was in a hospital for like 7 days or something like that, not being fed, hanging on by like just basically strung together by IV fluids and and you know, whatever you know, transfusions they were giving me. Oh, and drugs, you know, Demerol and morphine and shit. And so I was just like this in the hospital, and there was nothing to do. Like, television was terrible back then. This is like 2000, early 2000s. Well, the modern medicine, I was lucky that the only thing that was on TV that I actually found interesting was the Food Network had started doing a marathon of, because the Food Network had greenlit and made a pilot of the new American Iron Chef. At the time, Iron Chef, like right now we know of Iron Chef, but at the time, like just coinciding with the fact that I was in the hospital, this new thing came out where Food Network started playing reruns of the Japanese Iron Chef. They were basically playing 7-hour marathons of the original Japanese Iron Chef on the Food Network from like 9 p.m. till like 5 a.m. And so I was just watching endless Iron Chef, and it was making me so hungry, but it was very interesting to me. Like, it took my mind off of being in the hospital. And I remember just thinking, I was like, when I get out of the hospital, I'm going to cook like a motherfucker and try all these different recipes. And I'm like, whereas beforehand I would be squeamish about like, oh, well, that food looks weird, I don't know if I want to eat it. On the Iron Chef, I saw them turning like, you know, squid brains into, you know, delicacies, and I was like, all food is good, all things are good. I can't wait to, you know, one day I'll go to Japan, I'll try all this stuff, and you know, it's like, oh, what is that ingredient? I want to try that someday. I want to try that as soon as I get out of the fucking hospital. I want to eat as quickly as possible. So I sort of hypnotized myself into by like being high on hospital painkillers and watching endless amounts of Iron Chef. And they eventually, on like my last day there, they debuted the pilot of the American Iron Chef, and it was cool. And you know, and it's probably cringe now to look back on it, but at the time it was pretty, all that stuff was neat. And where I didn't give a shit about cooking beforehand, but now I'm just like, oh, look at all these gadgets, look at these ingredients, this is good stuff. So that's why I do all the cooking in our family, because I love it, and I'm good at it too. Sector says, I was in the hospital in 2002 for sepsis. That's like the worst. Okay, about a week. I remember just seeing Liberty Mutual ads every day, and I can still hear the ad jingle. It's like torture. Fear and loathing in the ER. Yeah, watching Iron Chef with no food and water would drive me insane. It drove me insane. Yeah, sometimes survival situation just changes the brain chemistry a bit. It was like I trauma bonded with cooking. But in a way where, see, what happened was I became an Iron Chef in my own brain. But like it helped because it wasn't like if I was watching like Paula Deen or something like that, I would have like gotten on into all those bad things. Like I'd just be eating nothing but sticks of butter, you know, and making pies. But now I'm like I get all excited about the challenge of like being like, there's no time to cook this, but here's the ingredients, you got to figure it out, and it's got to be amazing, right? It set me off on my cooking anime arc. Yeah, sticks. Yeah, I'm a fan of butter for sure, but my I don't know. One day I'll have a meetup and you'll all come over and I'll cook you food. This weekend is of course the Super Bowl, and we're hosting at our house because we always do. And we will and I'll make wings, chicken wings, of course. Mo better, yeah. we can see that, like, it can be hard to appreciate the difference, but this is what we've added. If I turn this on and off, we can see the light that I've just in this session added to this bridge. You made a banging seafood pasta today. Cool. All kinds of seafood, or a hopefully the hopefully me chewing on this steak is not disruptive. And it was sort of like in that whereas like before my spleen incident, I was sort of like afraid to go to the doctor. Like I really didn't ever want to sort of do that or go in. But like after that, I'm very comfortable just being like, I need help. Hi, someone help me. I need to be admitted to the hospital now. Luckily, I haven't had to do that for my own sake since then. But I'm a you know, for all its faults, I do appreciate the power of real medicine, you know. And if it's got to be surgery, it's got to be surgery. My tummy hurts. Please scan me. Yeah. Man, since I've had sepsis, anytime I got a fever, I'm like, uh-oh, is this sepsis? Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, with my daughter, it can be tricky like that. She tends to be... you know, I'm not going to make generalizations about my children's health. I've done that before, and look where it got me. I'll be saying nothing. All right, here's the recipe for a bangin' seafood salad. I used minced sautéed carrots and dropped into the tomato sauce. Carrots turn into natural sugar when cooked down in butter. Ah, nice. Makes for a nice earthy flavor. Interesting. Or seafood pasta, right? Yeah. So I have an idea for a new kind of ketchup. This is essentially it's like the because ketchup is like tomato paste. Well, broadly speaking, it's like tomato paste and vinegar, basically, right? But if you make it with like, because like you can cook down carrots until they're just mush, basically.
Hey, Dad.
Hi.
We just had 4 more math problems to solve, but Papa and I were getting tired, and so I'm just gonna finish on Friday.
I'm gonna finish it Friday. Okay, but it's due tomorrow. Can you do it in the morning, maybe? If I wake you up early?
Okay.
It's up to you, girl. You have 3 math problems. You don't want to finish them tonight? You have 4. Well, you already did some homework tonight, right? All right. We're gonna let you figure out your academics by yourself. Okay, that's fine. Doing my best. Doing my best. Can you guys hear me chewing?
You're doing so quiet, I can barely hear you.
Okay. I hope it's quiet. Okay. Don't think so. Hopefully. I mean, if you can hear a little chewing, I just don't want it to be obnoxious. All right, good. To figure out what I don't want these muscles to just look like balloons. Once as a kid, I got told I chew like a cow, and that set me off with my eating with my mouth closed. Yeah. Yeah, we're working on that in our family too. Wouldn't be nice to phrase it that way, but I want to be sensitive if I can to well, what might be a better way to phrase things.
Okay, both of us are doing some more. This is now.
Do you like hanging out in my office, Kiki? We're not going to stay too much longer. How long has it been? 2.5 hours. It's been a productive day of streaming. Let me check my email really quick. Did any no work notifications came in at all? That's good. I mean, it's good that I didn't miss anything. Not necessarily good for my bank account, but I'll survive, hopefully. Tomorrow's another day. Oh, we have an opportunity to raid a Veil. Is she streaming right now? I think I'd like to do that. All right, we'll do that. Ooh, not yet? Oh. Well, if you see that pop up, I should be better about doing that stuff. She will start in about 7. Okay, we'll go and we can raid into her. Yeah, I'm not partial to giving much thought to. I don't watch football, and I don't, for the most part, care about sports, unless like the Dodgers are in the World Series, which happens from time to time. But the Super Bowl is generally recognized as the it's like a commercial holiday. It's for like everybody gathers around the TV and says, "Oh, I love this commercial," or "Let's see if this commercial is any good." So it is one of those things whereas normally people can't stand commercials and fast forward them as quickly as they can see them and recognize them. Yeah, they will. On this day and this day alone, commercials are exalted. Now, I don't think I have any. Oh, good new trailers too for movies. Yeah. Yeah, I bet we'll see like a cool. Let's make predictions. Will we see like a new trailer for the next Batman film? Probably, definitely for the new Superman film. Probably also for, I don't know, whatever, Dune Part 3. I haven't seen any of them yet. Ooh, a Nintendo Switch commercial would be cool. A new Zelda game? There will probably be, unfortunately, a lot of crypto commercials, all the bad things. As a rule of thumb, products that advertise heavily are probably not good for anybody. Or I don't know. Like my theory is, it's like kind of like the more advertising a product needs, the less distinction there is between the variances. So it's like all toothpastes are probably mostly good for you, so that's why they have to heavily advertise like Crest as the best one or something, you know, because it's like otherwise you're just going to buy the generic thing and you would be totally fine with it. Super memeable cringe commercials, yeah. Twilight Princess 2. Man, I'm ready for it. I gotta play that game again because I don't remember it. I remember liking it, but I'd play it all for the first time. Kiki, should we get a Nintendo?
What's a Nintendo?
What's a Nintendo, she says. It's a video game system. Do your friends ever talk about video games? Maybe this year we'll get you guys a video game system. Maybe.
One for me and one for Robbie. And buy a quick way!
One for you and one for Robbie, and buy it quickly. I know you liked that little game you found on your little watch that one time.
Oh, and the one on Palm Springs, remember? Pac-Man?
Oh yeah, there was that old that Pac-Man you found at Palm Springs. Yeah. Yeah, a Game Boy Color would be more appropriate. Actually, would. I keep seeing ads for like little knockoff emulators that look pretty good. That would be perfect for her, I think. Does anybody have one that they could recommend? We're in the Sonic arc now. Did y'all know there is an animated Lord of the Rings? There was the original Ralph Bakshi one, and then they've got that new Riders of the Rohirrim thing that came out in theaters. Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings Roar of the Rohirrim. You can fit a ton of games into those little emulators. My brother bought my nephew one on the flea market, and a bunch of PS1 and Nintendo games. I don't think they're legal, but they're sure convenient and child sized. Yeah, I want to get one that like kind of cuts out. Like I'd love to get one that was really just Nintendo, so I knew that like for the most part I could kind of trust it. It's like I don't know, Nintendo has to be the way they are. They should just make one of their own instead of ceding the entire market to the criminals, the criminal enterprise. It's like give the people what they want. The Minish Cap might be a good starter game. Yeah. Modded GBAs and probably Nintendo Ds. Yeah. You can directly emulate Game Boy games on your phone. Yeah, I have one of those on my phone. I do have one of those, and I like it. What do I have? It's called Delta, I think. Yeah, Delta. It works well, except there are some aspects of the control that are imperfect, and it's like, come on, just get those last little bits of things that aren't perfect fixed, so that it's great. It's not quite the same experience, and I guess there's no way for me to go back and do it again the same way. But it would be cool if it was. Ain't buying a Switch, yeah, just to play Minish Cap. I agree. Like, I love the. Given that, like me personally, I can probably only find like an hour in a week to play these games. So it's it would really be for the kids. But I feel like they can handle like a Switch when it's time. Because they're not babies anymore. I guess the benefit of a dedicated thing is childproof with no access to anything else. Yeah. I could trust my kids with a Switch better than I could with just just handing over my phone. Do we know if Avail started yet? Oh, she has. Okay, great. I'll just do one little... Better to not even do that, because if I'm not going to do it completely, then it... It's like when I do these, I like to... Like, if I do a part of a figure, I want to finish it all in that figure, so that I know where I have left to go on the next time. So, okay, so this is good. Let me do a quick... So I will raid into Avail. So prepare yourselves. Prepare. Jump onto the Avail strain. Do a fun little... Look at these bokoblin butts. It's kind of cool. The Rizzler. Alright, and let me do the Raiden. Can I do that from here? Can I do that? Yeah, I'm signed in here, so I can do raid. There we go. Alright, hopefully this works. Oh, that did not work. Yeah, that looks really cool. Is it, do you do the @ like that? Is it like this? No, no @ okay. Raid has been created. 3 viewers. All right. Huge. It's a huge. Oh, here's Kiki. It's a huge raiding party. All right, here we go. All right, raid on in. All right, cool stuff. That's funny. All right. Good night, y'all.